Productivity is rest, laughter, walking, sleep, emails, Zoom calls, reading, vacation, silence. Together, we are going to master the gift of femininity to be productive and get what we want. Feminine energy is that powerful energy. When she demands, she receives. Social media tells us that we can't be feminine if we run a business, financially support ourselves, and are independent. Let's be real, we all have those masculine and feminine traits, and it's all about how we work with them. No, the world isn't set up to support you on your period, to educate you to track your cycle, and to go easy on yourself when you have down days. And this is why we're taking our power back. You're hanging around with your male friends, brother, partner, thinking, why am I not as productive as you? Why can you go to sleep so late, wake up at the same time every day, work out fasted, and not feel like you are depressed? Always on, hustle culture, sleep when you're dead vibes. You think it's the way to get ahead, but you're falling behind. Women have 4 phases of a menstrual cycle: menstruation, follicular, ovulation, luteal. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can make the most of each phase to be productive whilst also working with your hormones, not against your hormones. I spent years being in my masculine energy, which caused me to gain weight, have insanely irritated acne, inflammation, and lose my period. All things which are not normal, by the way. Women have been told to push, quite literally and physically. Ever since birth control came around in 1960, we have been awarded more and more for being in our masculine. Mechanical, direct, little feelings, working hard 24/7, and casual sex. Frida, casual sex is not only for men. I know. I'm saying that birth control gave us the freedom, which was absolutely incredible. But it also came with a lot of side effects, and women today are suffering from those side effects. Okay, back to productivity. I'm not saying that any of these things are wrong. Birth control gave us the ability to skip periods, mute hormones, and reduce mood swings, as well as all of the freedom it gave us. It made us way more productive and go against our natural rhythm and natural hormones. Hustle culture also has its role to play in this need to be productive 24/7. Stay until the end because I'm going to give you a simple 7-day checklist to screenshot and act on. We're starting with phase 1, also known as day 1, which is when you are menstruating, aka start to bleed. So day 1 is the first day of your cycle, and this is where you want to be gentle with yourself. If you have booked all of those extroverted meetings, networking events, dinners, then maybe you won't feel completely 100% yourself, or you won't feel like you have lots of energy to be social, to share about yourself and what you do, and that's completely okay. This is why it's really good to know where you are at and schedule the right work at the right time so that you are your most productive. We always think that in this phase we are our least productive, but it doesn't have to mean that way. Me personally, I feel like I have to do the most aligned work in this phase. I feel like things that I have a lot of resistance to become very hard, so I can make the most of the things that light me up. So that is YouTube, that is editing, that might even be recording a little bit, but it's things that really feel in alignment with my highest self and my big dream goals. So make the most of this time by doing the work that aligns with your higher self. Here are 4 journal prompts to write and reflect on when you enter into this phase. In this phase, we realize that pushing things and pushing yourself don't actually give us the results that we desire, but if anything, they can actually push them even further away. This is where we also realize that stress doesn't mean results, and hard work doesn't always mean results, but actually doing the aligned, focused work in the little time that we actually need to do that might bring in the most results. I also call this MMM, which is money making moves. So in my business, I always remind myself, what are the MMMs? What are the money making moves that I really need to do, especially during this phase, because I'm not going to feel like doing all of the extra bits that are just add-ons and just bonuses, but I'm only going to be focused on my MMMs or my So use this strategy to make the most of this phase in your cycle and do the money making moves. We're in follicular. Energy is bouncing back. We are making a comeback now. The motivation is rising, the energy is rising, which means we need to harness our hormones increasing again so that we can make the most of this time. Now, my loves, you can go out of your comfort zone. You can start to talk to people you have never talked to before. You can start dating if you want to date. You can start thinking about challenging yourself and planning those social challenges in for next week. Here are 4 questions to ask yourself to help you make the most of it. And in terms of the work you are doing, this is when you can start to take on new projects, to start to brainstorm ideas and book in those meetings. We're entering into a dreaming big phase here where anything is possible. Your period makes you feel like nothing is possible. The self-doubt starts to creep in. This is where that self-doubt starts to shed and you start to feel maybe a little bit more like yourself again. Plan in your meetings, start feeling inspired by listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos of people who inspire you. Start to get that energy back and work on the projects that you set yourself back in your menstrual phase. Follicular is one of my favorite phases to start planning things in again and start doing those more challenging tasks that I usually put off when I am menstruating, because when you're on your period, like we said, we want to do things that feel in alignment. Follicular allows us to have that space to now do the things that maybe feel a little bit more resistance towards. But now we're entering into the best phase, right? And that is ovulation, baby.
Oh, hey. No, I'm in my ovulatory phase. Do I look like I'm in ovulatory phase? In general, I feel very extroverted, I would say. It's my very extroverted era. And I just want to do stuff. And I'm strong.
And this is where our hormones are rising. Our energy is peaking. And we can really harness this time in our work to be our most creative, our most productive, to challenge ourselves, to go out of our comfort zone, and to get those damn clients signed. I usually like to put a lot of my meetings here. I usually like to brainstorm here and even think of new ideas and new business plans, things that I want to bring to life. Ovulation is the perfect time for this. Here are 4 questions to ask yourself during the ovulation phase so that you can get the most from. And don't forget to dream big, my loves. Anything is possible. Anything is possible throughout your entire cycle, but ovulation will let you believe that it's possible. Manifest, get Superhuman, my favorite activations app, and listen to all of those soundtracks and get into that feeling of anything you want is possible and everything is on its damn way, so be ready for it. Let's check in with Luteal. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when I'm ovulating, I usually like to have a lot of stimulation around me, so I'm always playing music and singing along while I'm working, which is totally different to when I'm in my luteal phase, which we're going to talk about. But ovulation, I love having stimulation. I love being around people, so when working from home, music is the way for me to do that, to feel energetic, to feel that high vibe, and it actually helps me focus rather than distracting me. For all the push, hard, productive gals, luteal phase can be the most challenging. It's the phase that kind of forces you to slow down if you listen to your body. When working out, you might feel your energy drop. You also might feel like you need extra sleep, either going to bed earlier or setting your alarm for a little bit later and truly listening to what she wants. When it comes to productivity, you really want to turn inward and reconnect with the parts of you that desire nourishment and nurturing. So the work that you've been doing might need to take a little bit of a step back. You might need to look inward, do some journal practices, and be gentle with yourself. Sometimes the energy tends to rise when we go back into menstruation, and luteal is where it really tends to drop. The way I make the most of this phase is by focusing on my work, not putting pressure on myself to socialize, to go out of my comfort zone, to push myself, but I'm actually turning inward and focusing on the work that really makes a difference on my laptop. And that is very, very productive in itself. Here are 4 journal prompts for you in your luteal. Having hobbies and interests, because it's actually productive to have hobbies and interests that are outside of the money that you want to make. Yes, Victoria, you are featured in the video right now. Stepping away from an outcome of something that you're doing and doing a hobby or an interest that has no outcome is actually very, very productive. It's harder to do Oh, it sounds easy, but I know it's hard to do, especially if you are a workaholic, I understand. But it's also a very feminine thing to do because you are in the present moment, not thinking about what return this is going to make on you or what money this is going to make, but you're just enjoying it in the moment. Victoria, do you have anything, hobbies, interests that you do without thinking of the outcome?
No, I agree with you.
Well, I tried painting a few weeks ago at the summer house and it felt great, so that is fun. And also, like, I have a video I'm going to show right now. The painting wasn't very good and it's not going anywhere, and that's the whole point. The point was I didn't need this painting to be up on a wall or to be shown to anyone. It was just the act of actually painting. And if you find that hard to do, then I recommend putting it on a to-do list. If it makes you feel better to put it on a to-do list and have to tick it off, like that's usually how I go about things, then give yourself 30 minutes to 1 hour to do something that doesn't require an outcome, doesn't require any results, and lets you be in the present moment or in your feminine energy. How do I celebrate when I don't feel like I'm doing enough? Or how do I treat myself when I'm not seeing physical, tangible results? Learning how to celebrate your wins is going to give you even more wins. Learning how to celebrate other people's wins is only going to bring you even bigger wins. Celebrating things that go well, big and small, is how you can be productively feminine. Any accomplishment, no matter how small, actually releases the neurotransmitter dopamine and oxytocin, which helps to boost your mood, your motivation, and your attention, meaning that the more that you celebrate what you do, the more motivated you will be to do even more. We always think it's the opposite. We always think, if I celebrate too soon, I'm going to get complacent and I'm not going to keep working towards my goals, right? But it's actually the opposite effect. The more that you celebrate, the more that you actually want to work towards your goals and you want to keep pushing to go even further. So these chemicals, dopamine and oxytocin, signal to your brain to do that again, to feel that good feeling again. It's like when you get a hit of dopamine after scrolling on your phone or eating something sweet, you get that hit of, oh, I want to do it again. It's exactly the same when you win. When you celebrate something and you congratulate yourself, you get that positive feedback and you want to do it again. This is why it's so important to learn how to celebrate your wins, my love. But my wins are too small. Same here. Your wins are going to be small some days. Some days your win is going to be to have a shower, to go for a walk. That is your win. But it's still a win, no matter how big or small. Still give yourself permission to celebrate that win, because your 100% each day is not going to be the same. My 100% could be taking a shower and going for a walk and reading 10 pages. One day that could be 100%. Another day my 100% could be recording a YouTube video, reading an entire chapter, going to the gym. It could be so much more than that. It really depends on how you are feeling in that day. If you don't start celebrating your wins, you will become so bitter when your friends win, and that's the last thing you want to do. I always talk about friendships and how to be a great friend, and when you can't celebrate somebody else's wins because you're bitter that they're winning and you're not, that's not a great friend. So learn how to celebrate yourself and your wins. Something that I've recently started doing with my best friend is celebrating our wins every Sunday. We send each other a voice note just sharing a small business win of the week. This helps her wins become my wins become her wins, because I used to think of her wins as my losses, which is so untrue. Now when she signs a client, it feels like it's my win. I've also signed a client, she's my friend, and when you can start to celebrate other people's wins as if they're your wins, that is a life hack to that dopamine, that oxytocin, and keeping working towards your goals, resulting in consistency. That is the end of this video. Screenshot this right now and implement these 7 things over the next 7 days, and I would love to hear how you feel. Once I made these very, very simple changes, my productivity skyrocketed, my business took off, my hormones were balanced finally. If you want to check out what I do, you can see on LinkedIn, and you can also subscribe to my Sunday Stack newsletter. To support for free, share this with a friend, help your girlfriends out, because when we all win, life is way better. See you in the next video, my loves. Have a beautiful day, week, month, life every single Sunday. Bye.